Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Ahlan wa sahlan, guys. Welcome to everybody who is watching the live stream. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, enjoying yourselves. This is a Saturday where we will try to answer questions that you guys might have. So, welcome everybody. Ahlan wa sahlan, guys. Ahlan wa sahlan. MashaAllah. Right, so Ibrahim wa alaikum assalam from Bangladesh. Kita khabar. Balai seni. Maman Sanda wa alaikum assalam. Maman Maja wa alaikum assalam. Do we say Basmala in every rakat before Al-Fatih? It's recommended. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My brother, I don't know what your name is, Mr. Bird. Abu Bakr wa alaikum assalam. Ahlan wa sahlan. MashaAllah, Mr. Bird, watching from Kashmir. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome. Welcome. Wa alaikum assalam, Salim. Oh, guys, make special dua, yeah, for my very, very good friend, Salim's son, who was in a protest and he was leading the protest. He took a wrong turn on one of the roads and the police just wanted to be a bit nitpicky, and they want to charge him for not doing the protest in the way that was organized. So make dua, guys. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is doing it for Gaza, for our Muslim brothers and sisters. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him ease. Allah save him from any sentencing and charging. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala free him, just like Allah freed those who are accused of anything wrong, any slander, anything like that. And at the end of the day, Allah is the best judge. Allah is the one who will absolve everyone the day of Qiyamah, inshallah. And even if we are put into a difficult situation in life, this is just a small little test of this world. Yeah, Yusuf alayhi salam went through a test. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam went through a test. Ibrahim alayhi salam went through a test. Inshallah, it's just going to make us stronger, inshallah. Shaykh, it's hot for tea, I know. But I heard tea actually cools you down because you drink something hot, so your body has to now react to cool down quicker. I don't know if that's true or not. You guys let me know. Wa alaikum assalam, NC. Ahlan wa sahlan. Ahlan wa sahlan, NC. It may be a weird question, but why is that when the Sahaba had ikhtilaf regarding jilbab, whether it covers the face or not, and they didn't ask them? I don't know what your question is. Ibn Adam alaikum assalam. NQ alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. May Allah make things easy for him. Ameen. What is the difference between Nur Idah and Ascent? Ascent Felicity is a bit of a easy. It's like a precursor to Nur Idah. Amjad Ilahi wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alaikum assalam. Has Fazail Amal got fabricated head? I don't know. I don't think it would have any fabricated hadith. Amjad Ilahi, my brother, ahlan wa sahlan. Hope you're well. Alhamdulillah, my brother. Alhamdulillah. How are you, my bro? What's the latest? It's just been quite hot today, guys. As you can tell from my tan and my sweat. Tea is fantastic. Mango milkshake, I need that, bro. I need mango milkshake and I need watermelon milkshake. You know that watermelon juice. I used to have that in Pakistan. When it was hot in Pakistan, midday, we used to have a bit of a nap before in the midday for class, and then we'd go outside. These guys just sell something called sattu. It's like a wheat drink, so cool and refreshing. Like once you drink that, your body just cools down instantly. And they used to have watermelon juice. Only problem was some of them used to add Rui Afza to it, which messes it up. What does Ahlan wa Sahlan basically means? It's like an Arabic way of saying welcome. Welcome. It's like saying, this is your house. You know, you're always welcome here. If there are du'as that are specifically narrated for a specific time, like janazah, is it allowed to say the du'as regularly? Yes, you can. Fahad wa alaikum assalam. If a person laughs at a Quranic verse or a hadith or anything Islamic, is that kufr? Not necessarily. Dear brother, please tell me more about yourself. This is my first. I am Liaquat Zaman. I have studied 9 years in Pakistan, learning Islam, learning Quran, Hadith, Arabic language, and then I've been teaching it. So altogether, I've been learning and teaching for about 25 years now. Which is your favorite ice cream, can I ask? Mint chocolate chip. Is it kufr to vote? No. Sheikh, what do you say about Ibrahim, what does free mixing mean? Do you mean free mixing as in how people go to Asda and Aldi, or how people go to restaurants where there's men there, there's women there? What do you mean by free mixing? Or like in Umrah when they do tawaf around the Kaaba? What do you mean by free mixing? Sheikh, I'm going to soon, inshallah, to Pakistan. MashaAllah, ahla wa sahla, well done, mashallah. May Allah make it easy for you. Why do you believe Abraham built the Kaaba? Okay, because that's what's in Allah's words. In the Quran, Allah tells us. I mean, for the ayah of hijab, the Sahaba had ikhtilaf whether it... I don't know if Sahaba had ikhtilaf. I've never come across Sahaba having ikhtilaf of whether it covers the face or not. Question. Hifz. I get suggested to memorize Mutun of Ilm. I'm still memorizing the Quran. My hunch is to keep... Yes, good idea. Do that. I mix Jonsa with Anwar Ratol mangoes. Which ones are Anwar ones? I know what the Jonsa ones are. Actually, I am going to be going to Pakistan, inshallah, in August. So, inshallah, I'm going to be tasting those Jonsa mangoes, inshallah. And if anyone is in Pakistan, actually, I was thinking if I go to Pakistan and if anyone is interested in me delivering talks over there, maybe I can deliver some talks over there. That might be a good idea, actually. Wa alaikum assalam, rahmatullahi yamna, ahlan wa sahlan. Is there any relevant opinion within the Hanafi school that does not consider witr to be wajib? Is it permissible for someone to make dua to take due to a... Yeah, according to the Sahibain, they don't consider it to be wajib. Yeah, possibly in that situation, they might be able to take that opinion. Are the reports in Ibn Abi Hatim tafsir on various levels of authenticity? Is there a method? No. It's like tafsir Tabari. You just have to be an expert in hadith chains to figure out which one is authentic or not. Can you elaborate on which laughter would... If you belittled it, so if you mocked it, like you're mocking Islam, then that would be considered to be kufr. I think you suffer from OCD. Serious question. Is it allowed for Bangladeshi and Indian Muslims to visit Pakistan for holidays only? I have no idea. You're going to have to ask the government that. I am not a representative of the Pakistan government, so I wouldn't be able to say, but I've seen many Indians go there, many Bangladeshis go there. What book have you benefited most from in terms of fiqh, excluding what's typically covered in the Nizami? Probably, I think maybe Bahr al-Ra'iq maybe. Or maybe even Badai Sanaya. What book have you... Alaikum assalam, Zob, ahlan wa sahlan, long time, my brother. I'm from Pakistan, but don't like mangoes. Oh, that's a strange thing. Bro. So, for example, at a family gathering, can men and women sit in the same room? Of course, as long as the women are covered up and no one is sitting, touching their bodies next to each other and flirting. Just so you Kuduri videos, where can I find these videos? So, if you go to my YouTube channel, go to YouTube and type in Roots of Knowledge, and then one of the playlists should have it. Is there the only reason? I assume there was no... So basically what Muslims believe is, we believe the Quran, which is the word of Allah, we believe, was given to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And the Arabs in Mecca, they originated from the teachings of Abraham. And what happened over the years was that this teaching, pure teaching that Abraham came with, was distorted with the teachings of paganism over the years. So foreign paganist beliefs were introduced into Mecca, and then slowly they began to erode away at the monotheistic beliefs that Abraham came with. And then the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was sent to correct those beliefs once again. So tell people the mistakes that they had made in their beliefs and to bring them back to the ways of Abraham. But doesn't MPs legislate laws? So legislating, like if you have a law in your house that you can't leave the house at a certain time, is that kufr? Or if you have a particular law in a school, a rule in a school that, in this particular school you can't come late or you can't do this, that's not kufr itself. It's if you believe any law is better than Allah's law, that is where it's considered to be kufr. Wa alaikum salam. Hanafi ruling on mustache hair going over the lip, makruh? Yes, makruh. Wa alaikum assalam, my brother AB, ahlan wa sahlan. I won't be the best moderator, I'm stuck. Subhanallah, my brother. How is that possible? How is that possible? That's something I can't believe, bro. Taghut is a general term. It means something which has transgressed the limits, from the word tagha. Taghut. That's what it basically means. And this is like a word that's used for a plethora of things, a variety of things, including giving preference to other laws over Allah's laws, believing that they are more superior to Allah's laws, pagan worship. So it's quite a few things. If you go to Tafsir Ma'arif al-Quran and you go under this ayat Taghut, he lists over there. Can one make dua in English in sajda in Nafal Salat? According to Hanafis. Was Shaykh al-Islam Yahya ibn Sharif Imam al-Nawawi Athari? I don't know. Are women allowed to have an education? Of course they are. Definitely. What's the Hanafi position on beard length? My respected teacher, there's difference of opinion. Or are women allowed to have some type of education? Of course, women can have exactly the same education as men in Islam. Like the Gnostics, yes, that's it, Robbie. What are your thoughts on Imran Khan? I don't know, I just hope he gets freed. I mean, I don't think he's the best leader ever. But for Pakistan, he was a hope for a lot of people to stop corruption and all that. Your Kuduri, is it tailored to laymen? I don't know. You're going to have to check it out. I forgive you, bro. Don't worry. Wink, wink, Did Muhammad claim any miracle firsthand, or are they only mentioned in the hadith? So the miracle, the ultimate miracle is the Quran. The Quran is the ultimate miracle, what we call the preserved miracle. The other miracles were reported in narrations. Yeah, they were observations of the companions regarding certain things that happened. So those are all what we call temporary miracles, things that had happened, just like Jesus performed miracles. So those are temporary miracles. There's no long-lasting miracle of Jesus that lasts today. Wa alaikum assalam, Mr. Hijama. I watched a video earlier of Imam say the biggest mufti soon is going to be AI. 100%. I think this is going to be the biggest, not just, I think AI is not going to be a challenge only for the Muslims. I think it's going to be for every sector of life. Every facet of life, AI is going to have a massive impact on it. And I was reading this quote that someone stated, and he basically said that AI is going to make experts into technicians. So people who used to be experts before in something are going to be boiled down to simply just being a technician now, because the AI is going to serve everything. It's not going to be the ultimate thing that everyone's going to resort to. And the best you can be in society is be a technician, basically being a slave of AI. That's pretty much what's going to happen, I think. I mean, obviously that's a bit over exaggeration, but I think AI is going to. And the sad thing is, if scholars do not put themselves forward to helping people understand their religion, to be more accommodating, I think it's just going to make people more comfortable with asking AI. What do you guys think? Have you ever been to Kashmir? No, I have not been to Kashmir. I would love to go to Kashmir. Can I take a maintenance loan in order to live a student account? Is it possible? Well, basically, it comes under interest, doesn't it? So anything that comes under giving interest or gaining interest would not be permissible. It's possible to live in parents' home, but would be closer to uni, less time traveling, less burden on parents. I mean, I would say look into your situation. Look into your situation and think about your situation. Maybe speak to a scholar specifically about your situation, a bit more details. Where would you recommend in Birmingham to purchase good mangoes from? I have no idea. I hear a lot about the importance of Arabic language and how it can help one's hifz. Do you have examples of opposite where hifz Yes, I've heard a lot of people actually say because they know Arabic, hifz becomes harder. I've heard that because when you know Arabic, you can easily try to memorize something, but figure out it through Arabic, where you make slight mistakes because there's a lot of mutashabihat in the Quran, similar ayats in the Quran in different passages. So you could get some confused because you know the Arabic, but the guys who don't know Arabic, they memorize it verbatim, so it sticks in their head. Allahu Alam, I don't know. I'm not a hafiz of Quran, so I wouldn't be able to. How do you define tafaqquh and how do you suggest someone? So tafaqquh basically is the ability to take what the Sharia says and then to be able to look at society and understand how that Sharia ruling is supposed to apply in society. Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's like basically someone who knows medicine and then has patients and knows exactly how that medicine is supposed to apply to those patients. That's what tafaqquh is. I do practice OCD. Kufr OCD has been with me for the past 3 months. Initially, I used to cry at times when I live with them, almost repeating the Shahada like 20 times a day. I can imagine. So sorry to hear about that. There's a slight shakal. So I think in your case, nothing will happen. You do not have to worry about at all. Yeah, at all. You don't have to worry about it. Does it still count as memorizing if I memorize a surah by sounding out the Arabic letters in English? Yeah, as long as you're saying the Arabic, like the utterance is Arabic, that's fine. And what about a smile, a difference in noise? No, yours in your situation, kufr will not apply. How can one master tarkeeb? The best way to master tarkeeb, I think, is to start from basic sentences and slowly add extra rules as you go along. So you can, on my YouTube channel, you can watch my series on quick tarkeebs. What's your thoughts on Jamaat Islam in Pakistan? I have no idea. I don't know too much about them. Why are Zoroastrians considered people of the book? We don't consider them people of the book. No, we don't consider them people of the book. وعليكم السلام. H Muslim. أهلا وسهلا. حق is Kuduri much detailed than Nur Idah? It's basically Kuduri is considered to be a primer. It's considered to be a matan, which is authoritative. So it's considered to be like it has a strong position in the whole madhab. Nur Idah does not have that. So of course there's more details in Nur Idah in regards to ibadat, of course, but it doesn't have all the rest of the chapters. So in that case, Quduri obviously is authority. It can be given in fatwa. Nur Idah can't, and it contains more chapters. Do you have Aqidah course? No, I don't have. I've got it on my uruk.com. I've got a basic Aqidah course, the 6 pillars of Aqidah. I go through them from the Quran. What would you advise someone who has friends or family who might be going down the wrong path in terms of creedal positions without formal education? I think the best thing for that is to maybe speak to them, learn about Aqidah. So I think that's probably the best way, because it's difficult if someone already believes certain beliefs or holds certain ideologies. It's difficult to get them to go and speak to other people because they're going to think that I'm on the right understanding. Why should I go and speak to someone else? Could a woman move away from home if there's no job opportunities in her specialty in hometown? Possibly. Allah perfect my character as you perfected my appearance, authentic Sheikh. Some of the scholars say that is weak. Yeah, but even though if it's weak, the overall meaning of it is considered to be okay, in the sense that when we say overall meaning, in the sense that like the idea is you want to identify your imperfections and then you want to try to apply them in your life, right? The completion of the imperfections. Plus there's many scholars who the majority position is that weak narrations can be acted upon as long as the conditions are met, so it's not severely weak. But if a person was to say, look, it's a weak hadith, I don't want to act upon it. Actually, in fact, give me a second. Let me just go and just check if there's anyone who actually has said that it's fabricated. I don't think it's fabricated. Ya Allah. Oh, I know. Actually, a lot of people have said it's it's authentic. Imam Muslim Ahmad says authentic. I just want to check who says it's considered to be weak. تعليقات الحسان. Yeah, so there are some who have classified the hadith, but overall it's acceptable. Yeah, so it's fine. But even if it was considered, just for argument's sake, even if it was considered to be weak, it wouldn't be considered to be fabricated or heavily weak. So therefore, acting upon it in fadail, in virtues, is considered to be fine. Salam, I live in Birmingham and would love to speak in person. Where can I find you? You know, the thing is, look, a lot of people want to come meet me and things, but the thing is, I do not have fixed appointments that I can give people to come and meet me because my schedules are normally busy. What I would suggest is next week I have Jum'ah in Sutton Coldfield. If you want to come and meet me after Jum'ah, then you can come over there, inshallah. So Jum'ah over there is at 1 o'clock. So after Jum'ah, inshallah, you can come and meet me, inshallah. So next week at Sutton Coldfield Muslim Association, I have a Jum'ah there. Ibn Hazm said they were people of the book. Wallahu alam. Ziliyab, ahlan wa sallam alaikum assalam. What's the earliest time read Isha in summer? I heard you can. So I normally read it 1 hour after the Maghrib. There are some who say you can read it earlier, but I do 1 hour. When someone asks you a fiqh question, how do you answer? Like, what goes through your head? I don't know, I mean, I've been answering questions for years now, over a decade. So I think probably it's a process of how to think. So because I've answered so many questions, I know the process exactly how the answers. So I can't explain to you in 2 minutes. It depends on what kind of question it is. It depends how detailed the question is. It depends on the situation of the person. It depends on if whether the question has a particular ikhtilaf regarding it. So there's many factors to take into consideration. That's why you study iftah. You're welcome, Salim. Wa alaikum assalam. Do you ever get doubts about Islam? Of course. Everyone gets doubts about Islam. The thing is, look, the Prophet ﷺ, Sahaba came to him and said, we have doubts about certain things about Allah. The Prophet ﷺ said, that is a sign of Iman, because your mind is always trying to challenge it. So a lot of people get doubts, but they just ignore them. And some people get doubts, but they want to challenge those doubts, but they don't have the firm foundations to be able to answer those doubts. That's the issue. So, this is the problem that people have. They don't know. So what they try and do is look for online, look for the answers for these. And it can help sometimes, and sometimes it can actually make things worse. So people do get doubts. But obviously, I mean, if I get a doubt about something, a doubt would mean like, I think to myself, but how can this be in Islam? How can this be about the Prophet? How can this be about Allah? So a doubt, but that's not aqeedah. Aqeedah is when the doubt becomes firm certainty. That's when it becomes aqeedah. That's when it becomes problematic. So doubt transforms into belief. So as long as it's doubt, it's fine, no problem. What's opinion on Rumi? Okay, what did Rumi do? What did Rumi do that I have to have opinion about him? Do you get tested? Okay. Most in-depth Hanafi book for layman to access? I don't know. I don't think a layman should be reading Hanafi works. Wa alaikum assalam. What is your Aqidah of Sahaba, my brother? Which books of Imam Ghazali would you recommend? It depends what your level of understanding is, what area you're looking in. If it's just you want to understand about his biography, read his book, Al-Munqidh min al-Dalal. Al-Munqidh min al-Dalal is his biography, basically, autobiography. It's about himself, it's about his life. It's probably the easiest book to read. Or Ayyuhal Walad. MashaAllah, Ryan, Jazakallah khair for your kind donations. May Allah bless you. Alaikum assalam. How did you memorize vocabulary for Arabic? Any tips? My experience in Arabic is not memorize. I hardly used to memorize in my whole life. I hardly used to memorize words. Like maybe in the beginning, I used to try to memorize sentences. If you ever do memorize words, memorize them in sentences. Yeah, so it's just basic sentences. Just like, for example, let's say you want to memorize the word, I don't know, arnab, rabbit. So then you might want to say, jara al-arnab fil hadiqa. Jara, okay, means run, and then arnab fil hadiqa. That way your mind somehow just memorizes words in context. So that's one way. Another way is reading a lot. So just do lots of kids reading books, as much as you can. And another way is writing. Just do creative writing, talk about things. One way I've found is actually, if you just every single day for about 3 or 4 minutes, choose any object that's around you and just try to speak about it as much as you can in Arabic, non-stop for 1 minute. And then every day you test yourself like that. What's your thoughts on, okay, do you do private consultation where you can give a guidance on complex divorce cases? No, I don't. If not, do you know? Yes, there are Islamic fiqh councils that you can contact. If you do contact me, if you email me, inshallah, I can give you some details about some people who actually do counseling and they do these kind of consultations. I don't do it because honestly, it just takes up a lot of my time. And the thing you have to remember is a lot of these people who listen to people's problems, it affects them as well. So I found this myself. If I'm listening to every day 2 or 3 people's problems, and that's in a week, 15, 20 problems, 30 problems a week, and then I'm taking all that home with me as well. Because remember, you're going to be thinking about these things as well. Look what this husband did to his wife, and look what this wife did to the husband, and look what the parents did to the children, look at children. So I prefer to stay away from these kind of things. Brother, please visit Kashmir, inshallah, my brother. Inshallah, I will try to. Can you still answer my previous 2 questions, assuming that I don't have OCD? No, I don't answer people with OCD. The worst thing, the kryptonite for them is they go on fatwa websites and they read articles. This is the worst thing a person with OCD can do. Do not read fatwas. Do not go into blogs. Do not watch videos about debates, especially Speaker's Corner. That's the worst thing. I would like to take you on a lunch, serve you some good food. I don't eat lunch, bro. But Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair, my brother. Maybe one day, Mr. Bird. Maybe one day. At the moment, I'm a bit busy. Paolo Enrico, alaikum assalam. What do you think about English commentaries being utilized within a student's daily preparation for a lesson? It depends what book it is. I think English commentaries stunt the ability of a student because, when you're learning, you have to, it's like lifting weights. If you don't feel that pain, you're not going to gain. If you've got someone with you that's lifting the weights with you, you're not going to gain muscle. And that's what happens with these, English and Urdu commentaries. They are lifting weights with you. So you think you're understanding things, but you're not developing your understanding of the Arabic of that thing. So your general knowledge is increasing. Like you can study whole of Bukhari through English translation and through English commentaries, but you won't understand for yourself firsthand what the Arabic is saying. You won't be able to independently explain that. That's the problem. What is wajhul istihsan in fiqh? I don't understand the difference between this and umul balwa. Are you talking about Hanafi fiqh? Yeah, I assume you're talking about Hanafi fiqh. Wajhul istihsan in the Hanafi madhab basically means this. The Hanafis believe that every single masala out there, every single masala, everything Allah has sent down, every law, there is a rational reason behind it. So whether it's to do with washing your face and your arms in wudu, whether it's to do with cutting of the hand of a thief, whether it's to do with the rules of gambling, whether it's to do with the laws of dietary laws, all of these are based upon some rationale that we have behind it, some rationale. This is called qiyas. We call this theory. Now, if, however, there appears a dalil that overrides the qiyas, because there might appear a verse of the Quran which for some reason seems to break this qiyas in a certain situation, or a hadith, or a ijma, or something else, we call this istihsan. So, for example, the Hanafis say the qiyas the theory is that wudu only breaks when impurity exits the body. Now, the question is, there's a hadith which the Hanafis say it was well known in the time of Imam Hanifa in Kufa, that if a person laughs in salat, then they have to repeat their wudu again. So now this breaks the rule because laughter is not impurity, and so therefore it should not break your wudu, but the Prophet ﷺ said it. So the Hanafi said we have to break our rule here. This breaking of the rule temporarily is called istihsan. Umum al-balwa basically means it's an issue that affects masses. So anything that affects the masses is going to have a reduced ruling. Abu Bakr, is there a difference between takhassus in fiqh and iftah? Same thing really. Is Jalalain tafsir easy to grasp? You're going to have to read it, bro. For me, it's easy. I think certain sections is going to definitely be easy, and others might be a bit difficult. Rajul, wa alaikum salam. You asked us to remind you about the 15-year. Oh yeah, damn, forgot about that. Remind me near the end, inshallah. Would your iftar course ever be full time? Asufa will be starting a full time iftar course. Okay, that's the good news. I will not be running it. I might have a segment in there which I'll teach, but there's going to be a team of teachers who are going to be doing it. And I think that would be if you can do that, that's going to be very good. It's going to probably run about 3 or 4, maybe 5 days a week in the daytime. And I think that would be very good. If you can do that, if you can dedicate that time, excellent. Yeah. Mala Buddha appropriate for layman? Possibly, yeah. It depends what you want from it. Appropriate layman, as in, it won't give you the ability to give fatwa or know the problems of your society, but it will give you a little structure of what the Hanafi madhab is about. Can a Sunni marry a Shia as long as the Shia does not believe in beliefs that are kufr? How early can you read Isha in winter, like you mentioned, 1 hour? It depends where you live, which part of the country you live in. So if you live in Birmingham, I think the earliest is about 6 o'clock in winter. Omar Farooq, alaikum assalam. Ahlan wa sahlan, mashallah. Long time no see, brother. I hope everything's well with you. I'm very good, thank you very much. You look like Maulana Mufti. MashaAllah. Good eyes you got, bro. I've been listening to your discussion with our ilm, which was uploaded 8 days ago. It's a nice listen, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. I enjoy doing podcasts, but sometimes they get too long. That's the only problem. Can you be a mufti by doing ijtihad on your own, providing you are equipped with the or tools of Allah without any teachers? I would say no, because it's like becoming a neurosurgeon on your own without any teachers. No, because no one in our past, in our history tradition, has ever be qualified as an expert in an area of deen without doing it under teachers. Do you know Maulana Nuruddin Rashid? No, I don't know him. I think I've seen some clips of his going around. Can you explain maqlub hadith, please? Maqlub hadith basically means, the two types of maqlub basically means like something has flipped over. So for instance, like it could be in the matan or it could be in the sanad. So someone might switch some words in the sanad or switch a sanad with a different sanad. Or in the hadith, it could be like, maybe someone accidentally, in one hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said that he gives with his right hand to such an extent that his left hand doesn't know. And in one version, he gives with his left hand such that his right hand doesn't know. It's called a maqlub in the hadith. In Benoit town, were there many Arab students? Which Arab countries? In the beginning, there was, but then the visas got very difficult, especially after the Afghanistan war. Visas got very difficult. They were mainly from, you had North Africa. Yeah, mainly from North Africa they were. So the Khalij, they didn't come. From Khalij, you only had expats, Pakistani expats. But it's more North Africa, Algeria. You had Tunisia, quite a lot came. Morocco. Yeah, those Sudan, those kind of countries. Allah says, whoever comes with a bad deed will be punished for only one. No one will be wrong. Therefore, would it be correct to believe that Allah will not multiply a sin if it is committed in the Haram of Makkah? Not necessarily. No, because the he will only be punished for one, but that one in Haram will be magnified. Yeah, because Allah says, وَمَنْ يُرِدْ فِيهِ بِإِلْحَادٍ نُذِقْهُ مِنْ عَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. So in other words, it's still going to be the one deed. It's not going to be, basically what the ayah is saying, that Allah will not punish you for something you didn't do. Yeah, so something you didn't do, he's not going to punish you for it. But there's certain sins that are multiplied if done to another. Like, for example, if a person fornicates, that's bad. Yeah. So if a person fornicates, that's considered to be bad. But if a person fornicates with their mother or with someone like their neighbor or someone, then that's a worse punishment. That's more severe. You've got a warning, I know. I think because the thing is, I can't help answering some questions, and I'm going to be saying words which TikTok doesn't like. So that's the problem. Paolo, أوفر اللحى وحف الشوارب. عليكم السلام. You're welcome, Ryan. Give the reward of everyone who prays behind him in congregation in addition to his own personal reward, or is this? I don't know. I don't know, because he's basically facilitating for them clearly, which is of higher status. So there will be some more reward in there. But to say he's going to get the reward of them, he's not doing their ibadah. So he's not doing their ibadah. He's actually facilitating for them. So he gets like man dalla ala khairin falahu ajru fa'ilihi. So he's doing dalala al khair. So he gets the reward of that. Is phone insurance allowed? All of insurance are not allowed unless there is a dire need for it. Jihan Chowdhury, wa alaikum assalam. Ahlan wa sahlan, brother. If someone sends me salam through another person, is it obligatory for me to reply? And if so, how should? Yes. So just like if a person said salam to you, you should respond to them through another person. All you have to say is wa alaikum salam. Some people say you can say wa alayka wa alayhis salam. Dixie, wa alaikum salam. There was a hadith for where you walk to the mosque each step, take one room, bad deed gains a good deed. Does the same rule apply when you drive? Inshallah. Many ulama say yeah. So it's basically going to the mosque which you get your rewards. Is washing required after urination or cleaning with tissue? If the urine goes all over the private area, like larger than the size of a 2p coin, then you have to wash. Otherwise, tissue would be sufficient. If you restart, then it won't ban you. Are you sure? Now, it hasn't banned me. It's just giving me a warning that it's restricted to some people. Is it wrong when we make dua, we ask through the Prophet ﷺ? No, it's not wrong. Asking through the Prophet ﷺ meaning you ask Allah through the Prophet ﷺ. So you say, Ya Allah, through the love I have for the Prophet ﷺ, please answer this dua. This is allowed. As for speaking to the Prophet ﷺ and asking him to make dua for you, there's a difference of opinion. I would say avoid it. My position is avoid it. I'm very good, my brother Tyson. How are you, bro? Are you enjoying the heat today? Some people restart the live, then it stops them from being on. I don't think I'm going to be banned unless I say something quite controversial. Inshallah. It's just restricted it to some people, so some people won't be able to watch it. Maybe it's good. Those Islamophobes won't be able to. Come on. In the Quran, Allah describes the speech of ants, then warns the other about the approaching army. Could this speech be understood metaphorically? Some say it could be metaphorically. It could be in the ants' own particular language, and then this was translated to us of how we would understand it. Should I read Shara along with Hidayah? If so, which one? Try to read an Arabic one. If your Arabic is quite weak, then I would say read Binaya. Binaya would be a good one. Jihan, Ustad, for 48 miles limit of women to travel without mahram. Does that still apply in this day and age? Demonstrated radius. There's a difference of opinion about this, Jihan. Yeah, there's a difference of opinion. Some of the scholars, like Anwar Shah Kashmiri, used to say that it's based upon safety. Yeah. So he says it wouldn't apply unless it was, something really serious, dangerous. In Britain, what is the earliest someone can pray Isha after Maghrib in summer? So it depends in Britain. Like, it's not just a whole rule for whole of Britain. It depends where you are in Britain as well. Generally, the rule applies from Birmingham upwards. That's where the rule applies from. So I would say I live in Birmingham, so it's about an hour after Maghrib. So Muslims put a sticker of the first kalima on the front door of the house. Is there any Islamic basis? No. It's just they just put it for barakah purposes. I think Muslims did it in the past to show that they were Muslim. So in the area, if anyone wanted to know if a Muslim lives here, that's what it would be for. Sheikh, don't say the word the B word. Would you ever long-term live in Pakistan? Maybe. If I had some good project that I could do there, I wouldn't mind. You'll get something by saying the word. Can you explain kalam, nafasi, and lafzi? So kalam, nafasi, and lafzi is a Ash'ari concept, which is to do with the idea that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks, this is in response to the Mu'tazila, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks and He says something, then how do we understand that? How is that statement, if it's part of Allah's essence, and Allah's essence has no shape and form, and it's eternal, how can we hear eternity? How can sounds and that be audible to us? So they say, well, there's two elements to it. There's the ultimate element, which is part of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's called the nafasi. That exists. Imagine, obviously, this is not the best example, but it's an example to understand. Like the iCloud, right? So the information exists there. Don't know where it is. It's just there. And then when we get access to it, in a worldly form. So the worldly form of the kalam of Allah comes to us. But then that worldly form is a reflection of what exists in wherever it is. Once you plan a trip, please DM me. Also, I would like to know from which book you're posting the words of wisdom. Once you plan a trip, please DM me. Oh, plan a trip to where? Mr. Bud. I would like to know from which book you are posting the words of wisdom. Okay. Oh, I mean, are you saying on my Twitter? The thing is, I do not post those. So I have a team, mashallah, who work tirelessly finding these quotes, and then they'll post the quotes. They show it to me. I just verify whether the Arabic is correct. And so because they're not really fiqh statements, they're just piece of advice, then it's flexible. I will send you email, inshallah. The thing is, whenever I see a Quranic verse or something else, the urge to laugh, yeah. You suffer from OCD, brother. It's okay. It's just something you have to overcome. You need to get, reality is you need to get treatment for it. Treatment as in, you get therapy, you get people to help you overcome it. Because, I assume, I don't know if you're married or not, but I assume if you do get married, it's going to become worse. Because it usually has an effect, because you start thinking like this and your wife or husband starts stressing out, getting anxiety because you're not behaving normally. In Islam, prevention is better than cure, but sometimes it seems like you want to make a lot of things permissible, which there is a shubha in, and we are aware of the hadith of... I don't understand it. Are you saying I make things permissible? Is it me, or is it just generally scholars? Shaykhana, Allah accept your efforts. Ameen. Jazakallah khair. Amir. Ahlan wa sahlan. Whenever I see a verse or anything Islamic, okay, please answer no. It wouldn't happen with that. Did the North Africans learn Urdu? Yeah, a lot of them did. Yeah, a lot of them would learn Urdu. Why is Saddan lil-Zari'a nowadays not acted upon? So Hanafis, this is not a rule in the Hanafi madhab. This is not in our usul. Other madhabs, Malikis, definitely, Hanbalis to a degree, they have it. We don't have it in our usul. Can a couple's nikah be done before the bride going to live with the husband months in advance, as this has become the norm? Yes, couple's nikah can be done in advance, it's fine. Salaam alaikum salam. For Hanafi madhab, do we have to go to mosque for fard prayers? Yes. There's a difference of opinion of whether it's wajib or it's sunnah mu'akkada. But the thing is, as a Muslim, look, the Prophet ﷺ did it, Sahaba did it, we should be following them. Right? We shouldn't be looking for whether it's fard or not. We should try our best to attend the masjid. There's so many benefits attending the masjid. And sometimes what can happen, people can just rely upon they read something online saying that it's not really that necessary. So no, I would say you should make your utmost, especially living in the West, you should try your best to go to the masjid. So insurance is not allowed because basically insurance is a contract, and that contract in Islam has to be a certain contract. What you're getting in return is certain. So in insurance, it's all based upon risk, as in if this does happen, then you will get this, and if it doesn't, you're not going to get anything. So you're paying people money by rolling a dice, you can say. It's like that. Do you do nikah? How much? No, I don't do nikahs. I only do for close family members and friends. Is it possible to hold some opinions on Maturidi and some Ash'ari? Or should yes, you can. It's fine. Are you Maturidi? If you want me to be Maturidi, I will be Maturidi. I don't understand in today's times, like how does Maturidi affect someone being a Muslim? Or how does Ash'ari or how does Asadi? I personally don't see how that, unless it's in some sort of academic circle, it's something to do with some sort of specific scenario. Yeah. So I think people are just too fixated on what are you, what's your Aqidah, what's your. Of course, if a person holds like some very, deviant beliefs regarding Allah or the prophets, or that's different. Is it possible for one to read the tasbih for after salah whilst walking? I assume yes, you can, because the hadith says after dubura salat. But again, I would say from the practice of the early people, the scholars, it seems as though you would sit in the same place and do it. What's the ruling on celebrating birthdays allowed, anniversaries allowed, New Year's? I mean, it depends, isn't it? Which type of New Year it is. But in essence, it would be considered to be permissible. There's permissibility in it. Yeah, it's permissibility. Is it haram to visit Petra, Al-Ula, the Dead Sea, and pyramids of Giza? Yes, it would be permissible to visit these places because we don't know exactly was it these places where the azab came. Yeah, so because the narrations are not considered to be mutawatir in that level. However, if a person does go to any place where there was ancient people, you should always go with the intention of ibrah, like Allah says in the Quran, Siru fil ardi, travel around the earth. Fandur kayfa kana aqibatul ladina min. Look at what happened to the people who came before. So Allah tells us to go around. Wa alaikum assalam. Where did you study ifta? I studied ifta in Karachi. What can someone expect from the course? So ifta is not an easy course, honestly. I usually at the beginning of the year when I do ifta, you get like a big intake and then they slowly drop out or they can't do the work. And because it's not like an alimiya course that you just attend lessons, you have to actually do lots of homework. That's the thing. And it's research and it's independent research you have to do. And it's like a lot of people just say it's too much for us. And a lot of people, they graduate from madrasa, the Arabic's not good enough to be able to read Radd al-Muhtar or Ibn Nujaym or these books on their own. But if you do the whole iftar course, at the end of it, you will become skilled enough to be able to at least know how to answer people's questions. Whether you can answer them or not is different, but you'll know how to answer it. I'm struggling with family issues and Imam as a revert. How do I get closer to Allah? Yeah, subhanallah. With regards to reverts, you got to give it to them, guys. I mean, these people go through things that many of us would never ever imagine. Yeah, I've heard so many stories about converts and reverts struggling to be able to pray 5 times a day, their family abusing them verbally or insulting Allah and the Prophet ﷺ, and they don't have anywhere else actually to go. So you make special dua for our brothers and sisters out there who are struggling as converts to Islam. What I would say is this: look, the biggest thing that will ever help you in Islam is company. Company is so important. Allah gave the Prophet ﷺ Sahaba company, and the Prophet ﷺ gave Sahaba the Prophet ﷺ's company. Company is a very, very important thing. Never underestimate the power of company. Company will actually give you strength and support where you actually need it, because it's usually where you're feeling down that the company will lift you up. So I would say company is the best thing. Ya Allah. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. A recent Android update added something called predictive back gesture to phones and tablets. Is this permissible to use? Prediction? I don't know. Why would that be wrong? I don't understand. Ruling on watching movies and TV shows, it depends what you watch. If it's something that contains nudity, something which is sinful to look at, then no. Trip to Kashmir, inshallah. I would like to know the schedule for your live feed. I usually do it on this time, Saturdays. I'm 17 right now, but I was already worried about my nikah being broken, but I have trust in Allah that He will fix things, inshallah. Is fasting and salah two different acts of worship during Ramadan? Yes. Alaikum assalam. How does one deal with anger? You got to get therapy. Honestly, it's therapy. Therapy is very important. You need to look at your diet, what you're eating, look at your environment. There could be certain types of food that aggravates your anger. Yeah, so the thing is, just therapy is a very important thing, you know, honestly. Get your anger sorted out now, because later on in life it's going to have a massive impact on your family, your children, your company around you as well. Regarding the HOTS course at Asufa, is Ijazah Sanad given same as the full-time course? It's considered to be of a lower degree than the full-time. The full-time is a higher degree. Yeah, it's a higher degree. Can you explain Mu'dal Hadith? I would definitely recommend anyone who wants to study the full-time. Part-time, only do the part-time if you're unable to dedicate to full-time. Can you explain Mu'dal Hadith? I know, brother Paolo Enrique, email me. I have a Usul Hadith course that is free of charge that you can join. You can just watch the videos there, inshallah, and I've actually explained this. So Mu'dal Hadith is basically a hadith that's broken chain, two or more consecutively, anywhere in the chain. It's called a Mu'dal Hadith. Please make dua for me. Guys, make special dua for our brother Rahim. I have watched your podcast where you mentioned many students study just for the qualification rather than actual knowledge, and I totally agree. 100%. Sadly, it's a very... I mean, without exaggeration, I personally think a lot of people who have graduated from madrasas are not qualified alims. I would say a lot. I don't know put a number on it, but I would maybe say 60 to 70% are not qualified alims in the UK. And it's just sad. I mean, it's a sad reality is that it's just the education system is not up to scratch in many places. They are not, doing the checks and balances. They are not qualifying people because of merits. They're qualifying them simply because of age, because of their situation, things like that. Any place where qualifies kids at the age of 17 is not an alim, in my own personal opinion. It's not an alim. Yeah, it's just a sad reality. I mean, no offense to anyone who has gone through the system, but I think many people do know. Many of the graduates from madrasas, they do know that. Hameem, alaikum assalam. You get Akida checked every single week, bro. Birthday checked, Akida checked, haircut checked, everything, bro. Our peers, I don't understand. Like peers, like friends, are you talking about? Even if it's sunnah mu'akkada, missing salah in the mosque, if it's done in a way that's belittling, like if someone says, I can't bother, it doesn't matter, you don't have to go, that would be considered potentially sinful. Looking very trendy, jazakallah khair, my brother T. And I'm sure you look trendy as well. Keep double tapping, jazakallah khair, Beebs. What's the reality of salat tasbih? It's good. It's a practice of the salaf. It comes in narrations. How much is lots of homework? So lots of homework depends. Some students say they take 4 or 5 hours a week. Some students say they take more. Depends on what kind of questions they have, what kind of coursework they get. Yes, but I would say, if you want to join the iftar course, try to read Al-Bahr al-Ra'iq. Try to read one chapter of Bahr al-Ra'iq and see how much you can understand of it. If you think you can understand 70% of it, then alhamdulillah, then you're not going to struggle in the course. Saqib, alaikum assalam, my brother, mashallah, you're on TikTok, bro. Ibn Nujaym is a Hanafi scholar. Facts. Jazakallah khair, you're welcome. Your beard is always more whiter. Been ages since I joined Livestream. I know, bro, man. That's it, bro. It's getting whiter as things go by. Link for Usul Hadith, you'll have to email me for that. The problem is, what do you consider qualified alima? Look, this is my definition of qualified alim, yeah? Now, listen carefully. I'm going to say it once and I won't say it again. A qualified alim or an alima is someone who can access the main books that are required for every subject. So, for example, Bukhari, they can access Fathul, they can read Fathul Bari. If you can read Fathul Bari, Alhamdulillah. Abu Dawood, if you can read Awn al-Ma'bud, Badr al-Majhood, yeah, something like that. When it comes to Mishkat al-Masabih, you can read something like Mirqat al-Mafati, Mara'at al-Mafati, you can read those. When it comes to Hidayah, you can read Binaya, you can read Inaya, maybe even Fathul Qadir. When it comes to Usul Fiqh, you can read Usul al-Sarakhsi, you can read Nur Anwar. So basically, you need to be able to read those. That is the idea. If you qualify from an Alim course and you can't read these books, then I would say you're in a problem. Because then what did you study? The whole point of studying Alim course is to get the skills to read these books. That is the problem. Let's say I'm leading Taraweeh prayer and beforehand I had farted. MashaAllah. Right after the prayer, I feel sorry for the guy behind you. I had remembered what the heck. Okay, in the current climate with guards, etc., is it permissible to work directly for the UK government in any capacity? Yes. As long as it's not something which is directly associated with what they're doing to the people. So one would say you have to mention specifically what the role is to a scholar. Specifically, very specific about this. Is there a difference of opinion regarding the prophets being alive in their grave? The Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah believe that they are alive in the grave. And many of the non-Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah say that they're not. The only difference that I know in Pakistan there's like this big issue about Hayati, Mamati, this kind of business here. And this Hayati, Mamati, both of them say the prophets are alive in the grave, but it's just the difference is what kind of life is it. Pakistanis love, hair splitting. No offense to Pakistan, I'm Pakistani as well. Pakistanis love hair splitting. If they just learn one little thing, they just love holding on to that and they love fighting for it, which is good in a way, but sometimes it just causes a lot of fitna. So, yeah, we believe that they are alive in the grave. Alhamdulillah. Say a person invested £100 in a haram cryptocurrency. From this, he profited and he ended with a total of 500. If it's haram, just like he did riba, then he has to donate the 400 away. He can keep his capital, donate the rest away. Is matters of kufr fiqh related? No. Could you explain more about why birthdays, anniversaries, and New Year's are permissible? Why? No, you have to explain, because the original rule is everything is allowed in Islam unless proven otherwise. Yeah, so you have to explain why it's not allowed. So there's no reason for why it's not allowed. There's no reason. Most times I hear they're not allowed, but why do they say it's not allowed? You have to ask that question to whoever says it, you have to say why. So it's actually completely permissible to visit Petra and the Dead Sea and the pyramids of Giza. Yes. I thought birthdays were haram. I don't understand why Hanafis use weak hadith when the Quran is absolute and authenticated. So why Hanafis do not use weak hadith? I don't even tantamount to deficient for my lack of. Hanafis do not accept weak hadith. They not. This was an accusation that was made by Ibn Hazm that Hanafis accept weak hadith. If you want to learn more about this, if you can read Arabic, what I would suggest is read a book called Dirasat fil Usul Hanafiya. Dirasat fil by Abdul Majid Turkmani. And he's got a section on there. Do Hanafis accept weak hadith? Hanafis do not accept weak hadith. May Allah make it easy for you and help you, guide you. Ameen, ameen. If I was to email you, could you refer me to a therapist or the likes? Yes, inshallah. Inshallah. If you email me, inshallah, I can give you details to someone. Is a man responsible for the Hajj of his wife? What about his kids or parents? No, he's not responsible. Only for himself. If one fasts but doesn't perform salah, or is fasting accepted? And du'as in fasting? Yes, it's accepted. Could you explain how graduates fail as alimas and what they can do to fix it? Yes, easy. Alimas and alims, they can fix, if they're weak, they can fix it. All they have to do is work harder after they graduate. Go over your books. Go over all the books that you've studied. Make sure you fill in all the missing gaps. Start to read Tafsir Qurtubi on your own. Start to read books like Mirqat al-Mafati on your own in Arabic. Start to read these Arabic books on your own, and then you develop yourself, and you can do it within 2 or 3 years, inshallah. And if you have other people with you, buddies, you can together go over some books. Surely the salah is accepted if performed regardless. Yes. Salam, Sheikh. Hope you're well. Ahla wa sahlan. Ahla Maulana Umair Sahib. Do you think the Dars in Islamic curriculum as its current tour is not more advanced than A level or graduate? I think it's more advanced than A levels, definitely. But the thing is, it depends upon the subject, isn't it? The main thing about Dars in Islam is how it's taught. That's number one, and what the outcomes are of each subject. That's very, very important. Unfortunately, in a lot of madrasas, they don't really focus on how it's taught, and they don't look at the outcomes as well. Right? It's just about covering content and exams. Covering content, exams. You could do that with any subject, really. Geography, cover content, exams. Cover content, exams. What kitabs to access for history? So recently on my social media, I did put up a list of books on my Telegram of books that are good for history. What's up? It's so confusing with all these topics. Someone who works, how much should he study? Study as much as you can. Don't overdo yourself. Quranic verse, alaikum assalam. Is there any significance with the Imam doing the second salam quiet in the first? Not in the Hanafi madhab. Shafi, the Maliki madhab possibly. Was Ibn Hazm reliable? Seems he had lots of odd opinions. According to majority, he was not really reliable because he didn't really follow any specific type of usul principles that were found in the early generations. It has become like a university education. There's also spiritual aspect missing. To what extent would it be sinful to forget any Quran that you memorize? This is where you deliberately do not make an effort to go over it. That's where it would be considered to be sinful. Otherwise, it won't be sinful because you're not held accountable for forgetfulness. Alaikum assalam, Dixie. Are we allowed to work in banks? It depends what the role is. What's the exact role? Salafi say verses are not permissible due to the Prophet ﷺ and his companions did not do them. Of course, they did not ride buses. They did not go on planes. They did not have weekends, and they did not have. Doesn't mean it's not allowed. The Prophet ﷺ, we follow them when it comes to aspects related to ibadat, aspects related to the deen itself. Yeah, so revelation. So this is why I think people get confused. So the Prophet ﷺ, did he have weekends? Did he have go on holidays? Did he have go ride a bus? Na'udhu billah, the Prophet ﷺ obviously didn't do any of these. Not to say they're wrong. It was just that the Prophet ﷺ in them days, they didn't have these practices. The Prophet ﷺ didn't wear boots. He didn't wear, clothes, coats like we have nowadays. He didn't live in houses that have air conditioning or they have glass windows. Also, is it permitted to visit Ullah for tourism? I would say a person should only go there if the person goes with the intent of Ibrah. That's where they should go. Is it haram for a Muslim to sell revealing clothes they created and its brand, for example? Would they say no? It wouldn't be a problem. It'd be permissible. Because the sin is left to that person, isn't it? If they want to wear it outdoors, if you sell underwear and someone decides they want to go outside with their underwear on, it's not your fault. I don't understand how a wife is supposed to fulfill her Hajj if her husband isn't responsible for her Hajj. That's fine. There's actually many scholars in the past that never ever did Hajj, they couldn't afford it. So Hajj is not meant to be something you save up for. It's just if you have the means, you go, and if you don't have the means, you're not sinful anyway. Yeah. So if she doesn't have the means, many wives don't have the means. They don't have to go. I think people think they have to save up for Hajj. Just like, you pray 5 times a day. The ruling for Hajj is only if you're capable. For celebrating birthdays and anniversaries, they say it's because imitating disbelievers. So again, the question is, what kind of things are imitation in? Eid is a ritual. It's a religious practice we do. Having holidays, having weekends, all these things are not done religiously. That's why these are permissible. If the non-Muslims have Saturday, Sunday off, and we have Saturday, Sunday off, does it mean now we're imitating them? No, of course not. Imitation is only in that thing which is religious. Alaikum assalam, my brother Bridge. Trust you're well. As always, is one class is alim by studying and gaining certificate for seekers guidance. I don't know. You have to ask them. Is Ibn Hazm's book on Ijma useful? I've heard his work. I haven't read all of it. I've read sections of it. I don't know. What's your ruling on 18 degrees? It's good. Azmal, alaikum assalam. Is there any significance for the Imam to do the second salam? I can answer that already. Sheikh, I want to get married. Of course you can get married. Go for it, bro. MashaAllah. Looking fly. Jazakallah khair. My brother Jawad. Ahlan wa sahlan. Ahlan wa sahlan. Okay, guys, I am going to finish it there. Jazakumullah khair. Jazakumullah khair. Thank you very much for attending, guys. I do apologize if I haven't answered any of your questions correctly. Allah forgive me. I try to answer your questions as best as I can. The reason why I do these live streams is I don't have to do live streams, you know that. But the reason I take my time out to do these live streams for you guys is because I want you guys to be able to have access to someone who has gone through the Alimiya course, who has been teaching for, a quarter of a century, learning and teaching for a quarter of a century. I want you guys to be able to have the access, and you feel as though you can ask your question and not get misunderstood. And unfortunately, what tends to happen is a lot of Muslims out there, the only access they get is if they're a man, they probably get access to the Imam of the masjid, and then even then trying to catch the Imam or being confident to approach the Imam and ask them questions, sometimes it's very hard. And sometimes, the only way you can learn about the deen is to watch videos online of scholars who don't even know you, don't know your situation, or you read fatwa websites, so you don't know if the fatwas apply to you or they don't apply to you. That's the only reason I do. So that's why I'm not perfectly answering questions, guys. I do apologize. I try to answer the questions as best as I can. Jazakumullah khair. I will, inshallah, see you guys next week, inshallah. The weather's apparently going to be very good for the rest of the week, inshallah. Tomorrow, I'm going to be in London, inshallah. I don't know if any of you guys will be around there, but I will be in London, inshallah, tomorrow. And hopefully, inshallah, I'm going to see some guys over there. I'm invited to a barbecue tomorrow to London. So, inshallah, I'll get to meet some people there, inshallah. London, I don't like going to London. It's headache, the traveling and the traffic. But London people are good. Quarter of a century. You too, Azalia. Quarter of a century. Ahlan wa sahlan. You're welcome, Feather. Ahlan wa sahlan. Is it haram to have a crush on somebody? So having feelings for someone is not haram. Pursuing those feelings is different. So if someone, for example, is attracted to someone, that's not something they can control. That's out of their control, guys. But pursuing that, following it up, pestering a lady or something, trying to, directly message her, that is something that a person should not do. Advice in general and smile. Advice in general would be to make thanks for what Allah has given you. Do lots and lots of shukr what Allah has given you, your health, the time He's given you with your family. Just imagine to yourself, imagine your parents passed away if they're alive. Imagine your children passed away. Imagine your siblings passed away. Imagine, very close people to you passed away. Imagine how you'd feel. You'd want to be with them. So just make shukr to Allah. One of my students, first ever graduates of ours, he was in his mid-60s when he graduated from the Alimiya course. He was a doctor, he was a consultant, an expert in his field. He died a couple of days ago. Allah give him Jannat Firdaus, Dr. Imtiaz. May Allah give him Jannat Firdaus. Okay, so sound is going to go now. Battery is down. So make dua for him, guys. Inshallah. Advice in general. Okay, so Jazakallah khair already. I don't understand what Nasibi is. I don't know what Nasibi. Nasibi. Okay, next time, inshallah. Next week you can ask, inshallah. 15-year course. Oh yeah, 15 years course. The battery is actually dying on this, Okay. Well, you know what? I did promise, and I don't like not fulfilling my promises. So I'm going to answer this one, inshallah, only. I'll just have to change the mic that I'm using. Okay, so I had to change the mic, guys, because this mic has battery died. So I'll go through the 15-year course and that's it. Okay, so the 15 years course, Alimiya course, that I would mention is this. Look, so first of all, so this was about fiqh, wasn't it? 15 years fiqh. So first of all, you start off where the teacher explains in the first year or the first 2 years every single chapter on the board just in his own words. So he explains the whole of wudu, the whole of tayammum, the whole of najasa, whole of salat and siyar and nikah and talaq, everything on the board. And you just make notes. He explains it to you, everything. So this is 1 or 2 years, this level. Number 2, then you start off with Quduri. So then you start Quduri, you go through every chapter. This is going to take you probably about a year. If you do it in detail, it's going to take you about a year, maybe a year and a half to do, maybe. Yeah. Then number 2, after that, you are going to study another matan. So for example, Wiqaya or Kanz al-Daqaiq. You're going to study the matan. You're going to go through it again in depth. This is going to take you about a year as well. So that's about 4 years gone now. Then after that, you're going to start usul as well with this now. So usul, again, the teacher is going to explain about maybe 4 months, maybe. So with everything else, you're going to study usul fiqh. The teacher can explain his own words with examples and everything in detail. Then after that, the teacher is going to start. So this is parallel with the fiqh as well. Fiqh's going on as well, and with the usul now as well. So you're going to be studying usul shashi. Actually, you're going to, usul shashi. Then you're going to do matl manar, and then you're going to do maybe a sharh of matl manar, one of the shuruhat you can do with it as well. And then you're going to go on to usul sarakhsi. Then you're going to do sections of fusul fil usul. So all of that, and then you can go on to At-Tahrir by Ibn Humam, and then you can do Musallam al-Thubut. So these can be done over 5 or 6 years. Right? So it's going to be parallel with that. As for the fiqh one, you're continuing, then you're going to do Hidayah, and then you're going to do with Hidayah, you're going to read Ikhtiyar as well. And then you're also going to start doing chapters of Bahr al-Ra'iq. And then after that, you're going to be reading with it Badai' Sanai. So the students are going to be given chapters, Badai' Sanai. You're going to also do sections of Tajreed by Quduri. And with that, you're also going to start to study Ahkam al-Hadith, Ahkam al-Quran, Ahkam al-Hadith. Certain chapters, you're going to read those. So this is related to Hadith, related to Salat and Wudu and all of that. So you can do Athar al-Sunan, for example. You can do Sharh Ma'ani Athar, you can do as well. You can do sections of Mishkat al-Masabih as well, that's fine as well. Familiarization with Hadith science. Then after that, once you're in your year 11 or 12, you're going to start doing Qawaid as well. Qawaid. And then near the end, you're going to start doing Radd al-Muhtar. Yeah, so, I mean, again, this would have to be mapped out, the whole thing, and then you can see in front of you exactly what's happening. You have a timeline, you can see exactly what's happening. By the end of that 50, you will not have to even do Iftah, because that's going to have incorporated into it, the Iftah as well. It's a very long process. It's not a traditional Dars Nizami system, because you're not going to be studying all the other things. Those other things would have to be studied separately. But this is just a fiqh element to it to really become very good at fiqh. Yeah. That's the 15 years, guys. Now, again, I promised that I would go over it, so I don't like breaking my promises. What's the best thing about studying Pakistan? Weather. Weather and some of the very good teachers, mashallah. Very mu'tadil, very down to earth. They understand the subjects very, very well. Like, really good. I think that's once a week, Saturday, love. Saturday live. Obviously, you guys love me as well. You live, I do lives, and you guys give love. No more Friday. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do yesterday's Friday, because yesterday's Friday, I basically had to go to a janaza. The student I told you about, the graduate, his janaza. So we were there, and it got late, and then I came back very tired. So I wasn't able to do it, inshallah. Enjoy London, inshallah. I'll try to enjoy London, guys. Make dua for me that I come out in one piece. You hear all those things about London. All right, guys. Take care, inshallah. Is it permissible to pray in a room where menstruating woman is present, of course. Nothing is wrong with the menstruating woman at all. Alaikum assalam. Salah, ahla wa sahla, my brother. You guys make special dua for Salah's mother. Al-ummah wa ummahu. Can a man request his wife to forgo her iddah period as part of his wasiyah? No, you can't, because that's haqqullah. The rights of Allah cannot be forgone. I need advice for Alim crash course. I want to finish in 3 years. Very unlikely, brother. Very unlikely. Can you do a medicine course in 3 years? Where are you coming in London? I don't know, somewhere in the north. Somewhere in the northern areas. The areas is around, let me have a check. It's by it's N13. London N13. Yeah. Enfield, by Enfield. N13. What is the ruling of khula? Khula is permissible. It's where a woman requests for divorce. Jazakallah khair, Tyson, bro. Inshallah. Tyson, inshallah. We gotta do another barbecue, inshallah. Nufski wa alaikum assalam. Maulana, ahla wa sahlan. Ahla wa sahlan. I hope you're all well in Canada. Everything good. Alright, guys. Unfortunately, I am now going to have to go. So, jazakumullah khair for everyone. Does the sound in this sound better, or the sound in the wireless mic sound better? Let me know. Which one do you think is better of the two? Alright, guys. Take care, inshallah. Assalam.